In today's video, I want to replace these three CPU capacitors on my original Xbox. There's nothing wrong with these ones here, but I'm going to be changing them out for preventative maintenance because these have been known to fail. And although these are in good shape and may last indefinitely, I'm going to replace them with better Panasonic ones that I've ordered, and with that preventative maintenance, this Xbox should live on. I've already, and had the video earlier on this channel, replaced or removed the clock capacitor, which used to reside right here. But now I've just ordered in actually a bunch of different parts for a bunch of different projects, including these capacitors that I'm going to be replacing these with. So this will be my first time doing that. On the original Xbox, on a 360, I replaced 9 capacitors on that, the Sanyo green ones. That was a Red Ring of Death, that Xbox. It was an old Xenon motherboard, and I replaced those 9 capacitors and it came back to life. So you'll see also on this Xbox I have an original Executor 3 mod chip, and that's the purple one before the CE white mod one. As I understand it, this one is actually quite a bit more rare than the follow-up, but I remember getting it white when it came out, so that was a little over 20 years ago now, because I actually just checked, and it released in 2004, so that's probably when I was getting mine and installed this one. I actually have another one too that I installed, but that was my work from back then, a little over 20 years ago. I've came in and added some Kapton tape there to secure it after I did a restoration. I dug this old Xbox out and I've been restoring, as you see here on the channel, my old consoles and purchasing new ones to restore for them and do mods on those as well. And this was one that I was modding over 20 years ago, and I'm going to do some preventative maintenance here to ensure that it lasts at least another 20 years. So that'll be these 3 capacitors. So what I usually found worked best the last time I did this on that 360 was to add some fresh solder to it. And this is going to be a little tricky here because I'm trying to do this for the camera too. So it'll be these 3 points here. I'll need to add solder to, so for that I'll get my soldering iron heating up and some solder. Okay, so that's at temp. Looks like I had it set at 375 the last time. I think I'm just going to go with that. Okay, and by blending essentially the fresh solder with the factory solder should allow me to, like the last time, I have a Hako desoldering tool here, which I'll be getting out here now. So that's what we're working with here. It's the Hako portable desoldering tool, and I only used this that one other time. The video's on the channel if you guys want to check it out. The first time I ever used this tool, and this will be only the second time now, but we're going to see if I got better results this time. It worked good last time too for me after I learned the few tricks here, and I think that was essentially it. I could have probably added some flux to this too. I might actually should have maybe got that out, but let's just see how this works because I'm still experimenting with it. So I'm going to see if this works just by adding the fresh solder right from the start. And if that works well, then that's simple and repeatable, and we'll see here. So it's got a red light on it there. I can't remember. Oh, it just went out, so I guess that must mean we're up to temperature. So I think we are ready to go here. And that worked absolutely perfectly. Those holes, if you guys can see that, see if I can give you guys a better view of this, because that worked amazingly. I'm still working with this new camera here that I got, so I hope this is turning out. Okay, that one's actually going to be a little trickier. These next two both are actually, I need to, because this one, as you can see, is underneath the clamp for the heat sink. So I just want to have my fingers on it to be able to wiggle it out of there. And I don't know if you guys can still see that. Let me try to get it in the view. And again, completely clean. Last one. I can't tell you guys what a joy this tool is to work with, and how perfectly. I won't even need to go in through those with desoldering braid. If you guys can see that on the camera, seeing if you guys can see. But these three spots where the capacitor were are completely cleaned out in just a quick pull of the trigger there. Each of those resistors came out so clean. So this is going much easier than I was expecting. So we have 3 new capacitors right here that will get installed. So for the replacement, yeah, it's clean underneath there, but what I am going to do, just because you won't have access down there again, come in on the board. It's probably even unnecessary, but I'm gonna come in here and clean. I don't know if you guys can even see me there. I should probably zoom the camera out, but I'm just using some IPA and a Q-tip. Clean up. Both this side here looks like it came from the factory, those holes there. You guys are seeing that. I don't know how the lighting is here. I know I got a lot of work to do before this is ready. But there's a few spots there that are actually vacant that aren't even being used from the factory, but you can see the 3 spots that now I need to populate with the new capacitors. So you'll see they're orientated, the anode and the cathode, and the line lines up with the line on the capacitor, so that's where you can easily identify the orientation. So being that I ordered these exact size and dimension from Mauser's here in Canada. Well, actually I think it comes from the United States, but I got these nice Panasonic capacitors, so you'll see they're all 3 in place there. I'll just, I think I'm going to zoom you guys out so you can see a bit better, because I'm probably not working underneath the camera most of the time. So you just flip it over. Just fold those legs over. And from there, it's going to be simple to see if I can give you guys a good view. Turn on the soldering iron again, which will be up to temperature in a second. We're just going to come in and solder those 3 new ones in place. Iron is ready. I'm using a Hako FX971. I got it set to 375 degrees right now, that's in Celsius. This is at the stage where I think I'm actually going to add some flux first. should just be able to come back in. Okay, so with those 6 legs all soldered in, clean off and put the soldering iron away. And inspect our connections. Hope you guys got a good view of that. Come in and look myself. Everything looks good. So now what I want to do, clip them off. Those legs clipped off. There are 3 new capacitors here, all orientated correctly. And this should turn on no differently than it did the last time, but with 3 new capacitors around the CPU here, which these are the ones that are prone to failure, I believe this console is going to last much longer than it probably would have before. In theory. No one will ever know, but I'll sleep better at night. So all that's left now is to go ahead and clean up the small mess that we made there. Simple again with IPA and a Q-tip. Okay, I would say that replacement is a done job. So all that's left now with this one will be to reassemble. This Xbox just recently got a new 3TB hard drive, which required a new BIOS. Thankfully, this executor has the BIOS selector bank on the front of it. I can choose as almost, well, a limited amount, but more than enough different BIOSes that I have SirBIOS on there right now, which does have the larger hard drive support. So putting a 3TB hard drive in this Xbox, it's already gotten its restoration, and now these capacitors have been replaced. So I expect this, out of the 2 Xboxes that I have, is getting more love than the other, but I'm probably actually going to go and do the same thing with my other one as well. It's a 1.0, this is a 1.2, and that's why the other one I have has the fan on the heatsink, which you might think is a good thing, but it's a noisy fan prone to failure and just not as good as the beefier heatsink that the later revisions came with. So this one's a bit better than the other one, but I like to keep it alive, mostly even because it's a 1.0, and I believe it's my original one that I would have bought on the day it came out, so that one there also holds a special place and does get its amount of love too. So I'm probably going to replace these 3 capacitors because I ordered like a bag of this stuff, and when you order these things from Mauser or DigiKey, you buy one of them and it's like a few cents, and you buy 10 of them and it's half that price, so it's just cheap to buy this stuff in bulk and buy extra. And I got a bunch of parts for a bunch of different projects, so if you guys like this stuff, you can check it out on the channel. Leave comments if there's anything you guys want to see. And I'm gonna get this Xbox put back together now and all set up with that new 3TB hard drive, and it should be ready for the prime time. So on to next projects after that. In fact, I have another one on deck here that I'm probably going to try to get done this afternoon, which will be to replace a battery and a Super Nintendo cartridge. So if you guys want to see that, I'm going to be replacing it with a battery holder, so that if it ever needs to be replaced again, and that is doubtful, not in my lifetime at least, but for the next person, and I hope this stuff lives on for many generations. So that's the whole point of the mod, is to put in a replacement holder so that the next person, and because the battery in there right now, this is for Super Mario World that came out in 1990, so by my estimate, that's over 35 years ago now. And that save is still fine too, so I don't know how long those batteries were expected to last, but they gotta be living on borrowed time by now. So what I want to do is replace it, and my son and I actually had plans to try to finish it, and I want that save to live on. So when we do replace the battery and remove it, it'll lose the saves that are on there, which are fine. Those are somebody else's saves, but I'm hoping that after we replace it, well, my son and I are going to finish it together, and then that save will be the save that can live on forever, I hope. So that's what the intent of the project is, and I bought extras because I plan to do that mod with other Super Nintendo cartridges and anything else that needs a coin battery holder. So yeah, stay tuned for that if you guys want to check it out. So hope you guys enjoy the stuff. If you guys got comments, please leave them behind if there's anything you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.